Well, howdy everybody. Welcome back to another episode in our Let's Play world, episode number 2. I got some really good feedback from y'all for episode 1, and that made my day. Y'all have no idea how happy that made me. I expected, no views, no subscribers, no comments, nothing. I didn't expect YouTube to even show my video to people. And y'all followed through. I got over 50 subscribers in a day. So that is awesome. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. That really does mean the world to me. In between episodes, I did mess with my audio settings some, so hopefully the voice sounds a little higher quality in this episode. And as far as what I've done in the world, I basically moved all of my storage into our attic here. And then I just did a little bit of blending with the stable, nothing too fancy. Honestly, I did it for screenshots. Just kind of used some moss right here with the more yellowish tone to blend into that path block. I don't think it looks the best ever, but it looks pretty good. And then also inside the house, I am going to put some bulk storage down in here. So I decided to make this a continuation of the stairwell, and we'll be sticking something down in there. I didn't really decorate the interior at all, but we will do that eventually. And how I figured we'd start this episode is by hopping into the nether. For my plans today, we're gonna need some redstone lamps, not just for the house up there, but also for a dual spawner that I have found. Ooh, this is a really good spawn. Okay. What is that? Is that that's a bone. I thought it was a ghast. Okay. Well, let's enclose ourselves in here. But as I was saying, for our episode today, I have found a very nearby dual zombie and skeleton spawner. I did find it with chunk base because I'm not really too worried about exploring for that. I just kind of wanted to find a near surface level spawner because I would like to put a build over the top of it. So I don't want, a build and then you have to walk all the way down to bedrock, just to get to your spawner. I'm not really too worried about the fun of searching for that by hand. But what we're going to do today is we are going to build that dual spawner into an XP farm. And then I do want to put some sort of witch hut library kind of building over the top of it. I'm thinking perhaps like a Baba Yaga hut. I know people have done that in Minecraft before, but I think it would really fit kind of a folklore vibe, which is definitely what I want to go for. And part of the reason I also came here is for soul sand. So this is truly the perfect start here in the nether, at least. Alrighty, we got those 6 redstone lamps, and 2 of them are gonna go right here. Boop, boop. Yeah, come on, burn in the sunlight. Thank you. Bam, bam. Let's back up and see what those look like. Yeah. Yep, there we go. Exterior finished now. These last 2 are gonna be for our XP mob grinders. So, alrighty, so I have already planned this mob grinder out in creative mode, at least the technical parts of it. And I have it set up to where all of the mobs are going to be funneled into one spot for me to kill. They're going to be down at half a heart. So skeletons, I noticed when I was testing, only take 1 punch, zombies take 2. That's fine. I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, the mob farm's really efficient. It's actually kind of crazy how fast they spawn. So I did get these lamps so that I can toggle it on and off, because if I need to work on that, there's no way I'm going to survive without it being turned off. So I think this mob grinder deserves a time lapse, at least of me digging it out. It's going to be a lot of digging. So I did enchant my pickaxe. I did get unbreaking, which is nice. I was hoping for efficiency, but when you don't have a grinder set up, you gotta do what you gotta do. So we're gonna get started on that, and I will see you in the time lapse. I think there's a reason this world isn't hardcore. Okay. Let's just get this on. Yeah, I fell into a hole. I think the best way to do this is actually going to be... sorry, I'm freaking out. Okay, I need a bucket of water. Okay, bucket of water. Okay, well, let's get our stuff back. We're gonna have to do a water bucket clutch. There was a creeper in the hole. Get all my stuff back. Thank you very much. I see a zombie coming. Where's my torches? Torches, torches. Thank you. Uh-huh. Yeah, there's a reason why we don't play hardcore. We're good. I only had one mishap when recording the time lapse. I did just finish the farm. Oh no. Okay, we're one too low. Okay. Whoopsies. I don't want them to die immediately. But it looks like our double mob spawner is up and running. It has an on switch and an off switch that I added using those redstone lamps we got from the nether. I can actually probably poke in here and show you. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Oh, but about the mishap. I was digging a bubble chute and I broke the Minecraft rule of never dig straight down. I fell into a cave and a creeper was right next to me and it blew me up. So yeah, that's what happened. I think in the moment I was too freaked out to explain it. But yeah, we have a very, very rudimentary double spawner. So I'm gonna let this thing run for a few minutes and we'll see how many levels we can get, especially since we lost all of our levels dying. After that, I need more diamonds, so I'm going to go mining. I might actually do another time lapse of that because I'm liking the time lapses. So I just came back from our mining trip and this is our haul. All this cobbled deep slate, plus this is stuff I brought just in case I didn't find any lapis because I do want to enchant. Some lapis, some diamonds, redstone, and some beautiful, beautiful tuff. A little bit of gold as well. 18 diamonds, not the best, not the worst, but because we have 35 levels from when we did the mob farm, I wanted to see what I could get on some diamond gear. Efficiency 4, yes, I would like that. So let's see if we get anything else with that. Please, 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 something else. And it's just efficiency 4. That's fine because I can combine it with that one once I make an anvil, which I do need to invest in one of those. It's mine, Okay, let's see. Protection 4 on a helmet. Yeah, I want that. And unbreaking 3. Okay, that's really not bad. We'll have a little extra protection here and a nice pretty blue crown. I have been using my horse as transport between the starter base and my hut. Also right here for reference is where the mob farm is. And then our starter hut is going to be just over this hill over here. So the double spawner, super, super close. It's very convenient. As for what I'm going to do around here, we're not going to do it today. I don't think. Maybe we will if we have time. I do want to have a little bit of a alpine type forest kind of back behind the cabin. And then somebody left a comment and I can't remember their username, but they were super sweet, gave me a lot of really good feedback. They had the idea of having kind of flower fields and a path coming from the cottage. I'm definitely going to do that. I am going to do it in a way that's not just flowers, like a sea of flowers, but it is definitely going to be a field with lots of flower patches in it. Eventually when I build it, it'll make more sense. I tell you what, I had to look up the recipe for a grindstone because I can never remember. I can't be the only one who can never remember. Like a stone slab is so specific. I figured while I'm waiting for stuff to spawn, I'd give y'all a little look at how this farm actually works. So obviously, there's a lot of stuff in there right now. Obviously, we have the double spawner. So here's the skeleton one. You can see them spawning. It's messy redstone, okay? But this is how I turn the farm on and off. Both of these redstone lamps that are on each spawner connect up to one lever right there. The mobs, wow, I'm sorry, that's really loud. get pushed into here, which I do need to fix this, to be honest, because they will get stuck. Once they do get pushed onto there, I don't know if you can see this, but where that zombie is right now, there's a fence there. Soul sand right there, so the fence will push them onto the soul sand, and then they go up the bubble column. Up the bubble. Up the ball. I can't speak. up the bubble column until it brings them into here. And there are two separate bubble columns, by the way. Why can I not say the word bubble? There are two separate bubble columns, by the way. I basically made them converge to a single point, and then all of the mobs fall down into the killing chamber below. They do get stuck a little bit sometimes, but when more mobs pop up, it pushes them in anyways. So, and then they come down here where I am standing in range and in a lot of noise, and then I can kill all of them. That's a nice enchantment. We got Silk Touch on our shovel. Now I just need Unbreaking on that boy. So this is my iron farm. As you can see, I've gotten 3 iron. I think that's a really good rate. No, just kidding. It's a horrible joke, but 3 iron honestly is more than I would have expected. I've only gotten 2 carrots. We may have an issue. I heard a bunch of baby zombies. I don't know why they're stuck in the fence post. That's so bad. That might need to be a half slab. Maybe? I don't know. I don't think that would fix it. This looks like a recipe for disaster. I have opened up the water column like so. Okay, yeah. Yep. Maybe a bow would be the solution here. Okay, it looks like this is working. That one's got a sword. I don't like that. Looting 3. Let's see what else we get. Oh, yes. I have a plan on how I'm going to get the baby zombies to stop. Let's see if they're doing it again. They kind of fill up right here. I'm kind of just thinking I'm going to put a magma block underneath them so that when they get stuck there, they just burn to death. I won't get the XP, but it'll stop that from having a build-up problem and potential death problem. There we go. And bam, replaced. It seems to be working. I think I'm done enchanting for today. What we're going to do next is we are going to plan and build our enchanting housing over this. I'm thinking for this housing, I do want to kind of go with that folklore theme still. Like I mentioned before, I think a Baba Yaga kind of hut would be cool. I'm not totally decided yet, but what's going to be inside this is going to be our book storage, enchanting storage, another enchanting setup probably that's reachable by the surface. I want to make it kind of creepy, right? Because we have the dual spawners underneath. So I'm thinking of putting some giant dead trees around it, making it look kind of like a spooky swamp kind of deal. That is quite the task, and I still have to plan out pretty much everything. But once I do that, thank you for resisting me, horse. But once I do that, I'm thinking of filming another time lapse. So we'll see how that goes. I did finally get the time lapses to work. I was having some issues, especially because replay mod is not available for this version of Minecraft. Sad. It's been a little while since I saw y'all in that last clip. I've planned out the Baba Yaga house we're gonna build, and it is massive. Honestly, for the stage of the game that we're at right now, it is pretty large. I gotta do it justice, you know. So I think before building it, which I'm going to time lapse it, it's gonna look so cool. I'm so excited. But before building it, I think we're due for a gathering montage. Hopefully this isn't too painful. I need to gather a whole bunch of every single wood type. That's mainly what I need to gather because it is a lot of wood. I probably do need more copper. I don't need honey though because I'm using the fully aged copper, so that's good. Yeah, we got some work cut out for us. I hope you guys liked that gathering montage there. This build is going to take a lot of materials. Obviously, it's bigger than I kind of wanted it to be initially, but I mean, at this point, I should know better, right? So we're going to go to the build site and we're going to get started here. I am going to do a time lapse. I feel like it is worth mentioning that we are going, full speed with the Baba Yaga hut idea, although it's way more than a hut at this point. And I built this whole thing out in creative mode. I am so excited to show it to you guys. It is going to be creepy, but also very inviting looking, kind of unsettling. I'm pretty proud of how it's turned out. It is one of my favorite things I've actually built. So I'm excited to make it come to life here. I do think I'm going to have to do some flattening though. So let's get that time lapse rolling. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that time lapse. I know I did have some technical difficulties with power outage, so there's probably a chunk of it that's missing, but hopefully that looks okay and hopefully y'all enjoyed. But here it is. I am very happy with this. I'm sure there's little pieces here and there that are missing. Let's go ahead and drop our horse off because it's covering like a significant portion of the screen. And you know what? I'm just gonna head onto free cam for y'all. Yeah, this took quite a while, but I'm super happy with how this has turned out. And honestly, just my favorite part is the tail. You typically don't see these with a tail on there, so I figured I'd add a tail, make it a rooster instead of a hen, But yeah, in my creative world, actually had a hard time making the back look okay. I think it looks fine. I'm not in love with the back of the tail, but realistically, I don't think I'm gonna look at it from back here very much, so we're just gonna pretend it's not there. Yeah, so I did look up some pictures of roosters. They have like this orange right here, right? They have those plumage, those feathers, I guess you could say, kind of coming down like that, so I added that on there as well. Overall, it looks pretty warm, right? Something I added though, just to make it look slightly unsettling, instead of having live bushes or like flowers in these flower pots, I put dead bushes. There's just like a little hint of death there. And then also this malformed leg kind of hanging off. Well, if you want to see this is where the base of operations has been underneath here, because I did do some terraforming. I just fell into the hole though. But yeah, that's another level of creepiness I added. And then also, let's run around this way. And just up so we can get a better angle. I added eyeballs on here. So this one, I do like how this one, I added the little buttons for eyelashes on there. It looks kind of creepy. I like it. And then I also added one on the side because this roof did feel a little bit empty. Another cool thing is I did add the lantern to kind of look like a glowing pupil. So it's like watching you. It kind of feels like it moves around with you, which is pretty cool. Main things I wanted to focus on for this build were dynamic shapes, right? So the chicken feet with their little claws here. Chicken feet aren't exactly just straight out toes all the time. You can see how I kind of made this one kind of splay out towards the side. A lot of chickens do have that, especially if their feet if they're not standing on like the proper surfaces and everything. I actually used to have chickens as a kid, so I have a lot of experience with them. But yeah, I added little back toes on here. I I added spurs as well because I just figured, you know what, let's make this a rooster. So spurs, those were the bane of my childhood. We had a rooster that would always attack me. And then I had one foot bent and grasping, I guess you could say. This was definitely a challenge to build here. I did my best. It looks a little muddled, I think, but it does give the movement that I'm going for, especially from far away. You want to look at it here? I mean, I can tell that is a rooster foot. So that's really what I care about, just getting that shape in. Evidently, landscape, I just did very bare bones, rudimentary landscaping. Kind of just made this spot a little more easy on the eyes, just at a basic level. Obviously, I do want to add some dead trees around this. I do want to be careful though, because I don't want to cover up that tail too much. That thing, it took so long to plan, to build. One of the coolest parts of this that I just really like the way the effect, I really like the effect it kind of has on your eyes, right? Is the black terracotta I actually put in there. I wanted it to feel very deep and voluptuous. And like there's a lot of feathers in there, right? But it's not realistic to build up the entire interior with all this wood. I mean, that would just be so much wood to gather and then you're never going to see it, right? And then on top of that, if I have like, for example, a whole bunch of oak feathers in there, it's not going to look like there's a whole bunch of shadow, right? So what I did was I added that black terracotta in there, and then on the end, this is actually part of the time lapse that got deleted, unfortunately, because of the power outage, which that was so annoying. Anyways, I did kind of just add like a dark oak wall kind of on the back, so the tail is hollow. And it is mixed in with spruce wood, and it kind of just fades into that black terracotta. And I have a few little plumes just kind of sticking out there. It looks better in my survival world than it does in my creative world. Still not quite my favorite. It kind of feels like it needs a little something kind of coming out to the side. But if it had that, it might muddy up the side view of the tail, which I find to be more important to me. So I'm leaving it for now. I think it's also worth mentioning that I am planning on adding some hanging roots and glowberries on here, but I have not found either one of those items. So we'll get there. The glowberries more for up towards the roof, and then the hanging roots are going to go on these dirt blocks down here. These are intentional, by the way. They're just a little bare looking without the hanging roots. Will I ever add them? Maybe, maybe not, but I plan to. It's the intention that matters, right? Otherwise, the way we're going to enter this thing is from this ladder on the side. So I just have a bunch of trapdoors. I'm actually kind of curious. Okay, I wondered if that was going to happen. I guess we'll just not interact with that. But these ladders on the trapdoor, it kind of makes it look like a hanging ladder without it being too bulky. A little balcony out here, right? And then inside, we have a dirt floor. This is the finished interior. I'm just kidding. No, I don't even have the redstone lamps that I want to put up in there as like a stained glass kind of looking window. In here, we are going to have our main enchanting setup, some book storage, anvil, that kind of thing. Unfortunately, I just don't think we have the time in the episode today to do this together. That being said, I think the plan for the next episode is definitely going to be interiors of both this and the cottage and some landscaping, and then a path and landscaping connecting the two buildings. I don't really want to have a whole bunch of scattered buildings around the world, right? That don't have any sort of connection whatsoever. I want to tell a story with this land. I want to keep things at least somewhat closely knit. And I want the landscape to be a part of that knitting. So I'm thinking some custom trees are in order. A nice path is in order because the cottage is right over that hill over there. So it's relatively close. And we can kind of play with, unveiling builds as we get closer to them. So this one, for example, obviously these are vanilla trees. I would definitely change these up to some big, nice, I don't know, maybe like giant oak looking trees. We'll see. So it kind of covers it up, and then the path would kind of go this way, and bam, you see the chicken. Alternatively, I could have a path that kind of comes in from one of these sides, because the way I did face this thing, maybe I should have done it a different way. You don't see the tail from the front. The tail is something that is revealed as you go towards the side. Another alternative to this would be to build something you know, off either in this direction or over in that direction so we can have a path that kind of curves around and then we get to see the tail. But yeah, I did add a chimney on there. Y'all don't want to know how many trapdoors I used. Lots and lots and lots of trapdoors. They are the best. They're also very expensive. Also, can we talk about how expensive chains are? I only made like 7 and it just hurt me. It's getting dark, so we will go ahead and sleep. There we go, finally. I feel like one of the other things worth mentioning with this is that evidently we don't have a water tunnel shooting up into there from the mob farm, right? The mob farm is, if I can find it, right here. So this is the entrance to the mob farm, not quite underneath the butt. It would be kind of funny if it wasn't a rooster. Maybe even be better if it was a rooster, to put like an egg or something as the entrance to the mob farm. Either that, or I'm thinking of just kind of pulling this hill out and just making a little small, unassuming looking cave. Kind of scary looking, but not huge, right? Like pretty small. And you just can drop down in from the cave. I think that's probably the way to go about this. But yeah, this is what's gonna be our enchanting house. As for other builds that we could have nearby, I'm thinking, y'all can go online and read the Baba Yaga, folklore tale, right? In the story, Baba Yaga is trying to trick a girl into milking cows that actually turn out to be bears and shearing sheep that actually turn out to be wolves. So I think it could be kind of fun to have like our cow pasture and a sheep pasture nearby this, just as a little nod to that part of the story. As far as building tricks are concerned, the main things I did here, again, were the mixing of the block palettes. So we do kind of go from these deep slate tiles to bricks to just regular old deep slate. And then we go from this to the tuff to the mossy cobble. And I don't know if I actually did it anywhere, but that can blend nicely into the moss. Otherwise, I do like doing these double doors that have a bit of depth to them. So here you can see that depth because they are 1 block back. We did use some signs, I did actually use a sapling here. I just thought it was nice to mix it up just a little bit, but this still looks pretty dark and eerie. Again, using these bright colors just contrasted with the death of the dead bushes. That sounds so melodramatic, but it does the trick. And I do think the little malformed chicken foot is just so fun. I do like that. Let's see what this guy has to offer. Oh, thank you. My other trick, and I did learn this from B-Double-O, is the glass panes connected to the walls, just to get a little bit extra movement into these wall blocks. Those little things that jut out to the side. You can also use trapdoors for this, which is what I've done here. Another thing is just building organically. I didn't really try too hard to make these shapes look absolutely perfect. I just kind of got a silhouette on them, right? Just trying to get some movement. Otherwise, what I've done is, again, I've mixed the blocks to think about shadows. So underneath here, I used more dark oak instead of spruce because it is just a darker color. You get a shadow underneath the big old chicken. And again, that kind of is with the black terracotta as well. That's just to add depth. Otherwise, I did use azalea leaves in the roof to kind of give it a little bit more life. And then on top of that, to add just an extra bit of life to the build, the campfire up here. I mean, I feel like I see people doing this all the time, but it is a great way to add just a little bit of movement to your build. Another thing I did was, instead of having leaves hanging down in some places, I did use the mangrove roots just because they look like dead leaves. And overall, I just focused on adding depth to the build, how the colors kind of interact with one another. And really the main thing of this build is the tail. I'm not going to lie. Like everything else, it's your pretty, well, the feet too are nice. Everything else is kind of your average house, right? But when you add the chicken legs and the tail here, I think it's something special, not to do my own horn. I really enjoy it. Anyways, I think that about wraps us up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. And again, I hope the audio sounds better on this episode. It should, at least on phone speakers, because that's what I didn't test the audio on in the first video, so it didn't sound like I wanted it to. And I really hope the time lapses turned out okay and that y'all enjoyed those. And I hope y'all enjoyed the build. I hope it could inspire you to just kind of think a little out there with your builds. I know this isn't like the craziest thing ever, but I think it's fun. I'm thinking for next episode, we are going to go ahead and do the interior of both this building and the cottage, and also the landscaping. I did get some good ideas in the comments of the last video, so I'll definitely be implementing those. And if y'all have any extra ideas for this build, for the cottage, for landscaping, or anything you'd like to see me add to the world, please leave them down below, and I will be happy to implement them into my world. I want y'all to be involved, and I want to interact with y'all in a meaningful way. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye. I'm about to sneeze.